Hi guys, what is good? Welcome back to our channel. We are so excited that you guys have followed along with us on this series, and this is the last episode on the series that we have put together for you guys. I'm not sure how many episodes because we're filming this one. We haven't started editing any of the content that we have. It's supposed to be 4 episodes, but depending on how long, how many clips we get for the party, the actual day of the event, we might have about 5 or 6 episodes. But welcome, this is the last, what we know for sure that this is the last one we're filming. And this episode is just basically to give you guys like a behind the scenes, a rundown of what happened. With the whole experience, of course, we're gonna get Sara's feedback about how she enjoyed it, yada yada yada. We're gonna get to hear her side of the story because throughout the vlogs we're mainly seeing our perspective. By now, if you have watched all the episodes, if not, take a pause, go watch the other episodes because this video will not make a lot of sense if you don't watch the entire series that we produced. But the party was my idea. I wanted to do something nice for my sibling.
Thank you.
And so I had the idea to do.
The party was your idea?
It was my idea. I suggested it, and then the family came together. That's what I'm going to say, but you have to give me a chance to get my sentence out.
I feel like me and you have both said we wanted to do the party.
Okay, we knew we wanted to do something for Sara for graduating. When I graduated, we had a little quarantine situation because it was coronavirus, so we couldn't do anything big for mine. But we definitely know in our family we celebrate milestones. In this,
and how about them too? My thing was I always like, oh, let's surprise Sara, which is why I know that I.
So I feel like it was my idea, but then once I told you about it, then you were like, well, we should make it a surprise. I'm not saying you didn't help, but I'm just thinking like this was my brainchild. And once I told my siblings, not my siblings, my sister and my parents, they were behind it 1000%. So what happened is that we actually found a place, a nice restaurant, and we booked the place. I booked the place, but I did not make a deposit. So the same week when I was calling them, and we booked the place, and I sent out the message and the invite to all the people that we were going to invite. Me and you, first of all, this thing we were supposed to have like about we were supposed to have, initially I was thinking something very small, about 30 people, but my parents and if you invite somebody, you got to, this thing is good. If you invite this person, you gotta invite this person. So we ended up having, I think like at one point we had like about 50 people.
Wow.
On the list we had about 50 people. And then of course we sent out that initial invitation, and then so we sent up with the first restaurant. Then when I called the restaurant again to pay, to figure out today when I come to pay the deposit, then they're like, oh, well, they overbooked. And our party was the small, even at 50 people, our party was the smallest amount that they had booked for that date. So we had to find another place. I started scrambling all over Queens, especially in the boroughs, because that restaurant that I initially found was in Long Island. So I just started scouring for places in one of the 5 boroughs, so that the 4 boroughs. I was looking at Staten Island. I was looking at I was looking at Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens for restaurants. Of course, the ones in Manhattan were charging a tooth and a nail. So then I narrowed it down to Brooklyn and Queens because I know you can get lit spots. If you're a Caribbean person or a person in general who lives in Queens and Brooklyn, you can find a lit spot for cheap in Brooklyn or Queens. You know what it is for my New Yorkers. So that's what I started looking at, and then we had 50 people, and then it narrowed down. On the day, about only 26 people I think showed up.
But let me tell you about, anyways.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be a surprise, but Sara could probably tell y'all later on how the surprise ruined. So she ruined the surprise aspect of it, but the details of this surprise. Of course, we had already had another surprise, which was also my idea to do for her, which you would have seen by now was the Jonathan McReynolds video. Yes. If you have not seen the other episodes, you need to watch it because you just be like clueless as to what I'm talking about. But that was the other surprise. I'm like, okay, so when I found that she knew about the surprise, that was my reaction. Okay, at least you don't know about Jonathan McReynolds. So, but Shay, you can go ahead. What I'm talking about.
My biggest thing with the whole party, for me, if anybody knows me, knows I like things to go one way and a particular way. I don't like the madness chaos and the whatever. And so it was like when every time Kay would come back to say, oh, well, this place fell through, it's like, bro, are you kidding? Or this person can't make it. It was just getting me a little like upset. Like, so for most of the time I had to be like smiling.
Even on the day she was so tight.
I was so tired.
My dad, I remember when I woke up the morning, because I can get very antsy very quickly, especially when I plan something. Like, all I'm thinking about is I want this thing to go good. Of course, it's for Sara. I want her to have a good time at the end of the day. So I remember I was like so antsy because like on the morning I woke up and like 2 people had said they weren't coming in because the morning was raining, so they're like they're not coming anymore, and I'm just like, oh my god. And then my dad's like, okay, so it's my job today to come, you know, because he saw my face and he was like, yeah, someone needs to call this girl. But then eventually I just had the mindset like whoever comes, are we gonna have a good time? We can be turned. I said even if it's just the 5 of us, which is the 3 of us, me and my parents.
That's what they were saying. I was tight because I'm like, if you make a commitment to something, if you understand how important this is to somebody, and you call me or you text me and be like, yeah, I'm gonna come. Plus you do all the fandangos, then I expect you to show up. Plus, I expect you to show up in time because we're not nowhere else. If the invitation says 2 or 5 o'clock, because this is a space. It's not my house.
Yeah, that was
you. It's a space. So if I said 2 to 5 to come, then you to come. We're sitting in the car, as you would have seen in the episode. We get there, and I go in to give Acacia the thing to finish up and whatever. And it's like 3 people in there. I'm like, where is the people? It's like 5 minutes to the thing. Like, where are the people at? And then I'm getting tired texting people. Like, please don't. If they do this for me and you're late, just don't come. Just don't come. I'm gonna see you next week.
Would you be more upset if they don't come?
No.
My thing is like I just eventually had a spirit of calm, and that was the mentality I tried to keep throughout the day because I know I didn't want to snap or get heated at anybody, so I tried my best.
I think it was because it was for Sarah. Like we've been planning this
for a while.
Don't call me the morning of and tell me you're not coming. Much less don't not show up. Third, don't show up late. Get here, it's queen.
Yeah. Okay, that's more.
The only issue I have with the late thing is because it wasn't we took a restaurant, so you know we didn't book like a venue space, and it was a restaurant. So because we were using a restaurant and they were giving us the whole restaurant to ourselves, we had to be very strict on time because from this time to this time they were only serving us because it was a large number of people. And so that was my only thing with the time because I had planned the party where people could eat and mingle and play the games in a good time, but then we had to end up rushing the games to get to the videos because we ended up starting the party like half an hour later because we were trying to wait on a specific number of people to come. And also because the only reason we had to wait on them was because the restaurant, they had catered for 30 people. So they were waiting for at least 20 people to be seated before they started serving the hors d'oeuvres. So we were just sitting there for a good while just talking because we weren't there yet. So eventually I went to them, I'm like, look, we have 17 people. Can you guys please just start? And then eventually people started trickling in as the food was.
But honestly, even though people were late and whatever, and because even in the car, I was telling them how upset I was. And Daddy's like, if it's just, whatever. And it was honestly such a nice time. I didn't feel like anybody was missing. And I don't know if that's a bad thing to say if somebody's watching and they didn't show up. But I didn't feel like anybody was missing. I think everybody that was there was meant to be there, and we had a perfect time.
At this point, I don't even know who was missing.
No, we're not talking about that on camera, but there were people that were missing and the people that pulled out last minute. Well, we're gonna talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it was good, and I got a lot of good feedback about the event, and I got the word flawless a lot. So, you know, if you guys are looking for somebody to plan and execute
This is not
a very good event, then book me. You can get me on Instagram at Rafekezia, Rafekezia, or you can get me at kkslace24@gmail.com, and I will plan your event. Of course, for a fee, but it will be fun. For a fee, yes, I want to do it free for you guys.
for
You
free.
do two for a check.
Period. Okay, Sarah, so your turn.
Well, the way that I found out, you guys can, if you've seen the earlier episodes,
I think
you
I
see the
I think
whole
I mentioned
plan.
it in the episode.
Yeah, so I found out, I'm sorry, but I must say that I do feel special. Like the family went out of their way to make that day mine, especially with the Jonathan McReynolds video.
Right? We have to get our future brother-in-law.
But you know what I was telling
Sure.
people? I felt like it was better that Sarah knew, because then she had the
Oh
opportunity
yes!
to.
The only thing that I was glad that I knew about was so that I could get
Dress,
right.
the dress.
She
That
got
was like the
well, you were
perfect
receiving
dress.
the dress that she wanted. And then also with Sarah, she don't like surprises. She don't like no big type of fuss or whatever. So I felt like with this, she was able to go into
Like
the
I had
party.
to prepare my mind.
Right, it's a controlled mindset. I was literally about to say that. You see, I know you so well.
No, but I was glad to have it.
No, I
Yeah.
know, but I felt like it was better that you knew rather than. I mean, it would have been nice if we had surprised you, but I felt like you knowing wasn't as big of
Well,
a deal.
There's always grad school after I graduate. Come and try to surprise me again.
We'll see.
So at the party, we played some games, and this was one of them. So we did a word search.
Who won the word search? I don't remember.
Shamika.
Congratulations, Shamika.
And I got
we had
second.
prizes.
I got second. So thank you, Shamika. So we played other games, but this was one that I chose this set because after the word search, you had to leave
A word of advice.
It's my
advice and also wishes.
She's only reading it right.
So we're only gonna go through the
The words of
advice.
advice.
It's 21. We'll go through it quickly. Yeah. So you read the first one.
Always aim high.
You have to say from who?
Oh, from the University.
This is from Andrea Harmon. It says, strive always for the highest. Do not get into the crowds. Remember, stay focused. You are the head and not the tail.
Let's see.
She's like a real lecturer.
So this one's from Aunt
Can
Pearl.
you give us her others?
Let the Lord lead your life because your future is in God's hand. God's blessing. Thank you.
This is from Auntie Simone. Keep God first, and He will take you through life's journey.
This is from Auntie Judy. Put God first in the middle and at the last, and you will always. I read
You
around.
can feel this part.
And you will always win. Put God in the first, the
Put
middle,
God first.
and the end. Put He
Yeah.
everywhere. Make sure He in the mix.
This
Cook
one's
up.
from Uncle Raw. Keep reaching for the stars.
This is from Nikki. Be true to yourself and never stop until all your dreams become your
Let me
reality.
show you.
This is from Michael. He said, stay personable, and instead of a wish, he scratched out his wish and put pray, which is cute. Mike is my friend. I know Lisa's probably rolling her eyes at this part, but he's my friend.
Take the world by storm, unashamedly, unapologetically, and fearlessly. From Alicia.
This is from Auntie Sandra. Compy, continue to be the steadfast young woman to excellence and faith that you are. I read it right? We
Anyway,
hope so.
this is from Auntie Jewel Paris. It says, put God first.
This one's from Auntie Cherry Collins. Don't stop until you attain all what God has in store for you.
This is from Minky. You will always be good enough for every path that you choose. Never forget who you serve.
That's nice, Minx. This one's from Tamika, your best friend, and she literally wrote Tamika, your best friend on the card. It says, if God gave you the vision and the passion, He has already made a way for you to win. Tamika, I feel like you copied that from somebody thing.
So stay with God and all things will fall into place. This is from Sammy Collins. Continue having confidence in yourself. Trust yourself as you've made it far. You have friends and family through and through, but you knew that. This is from my twin, Stefan. Keep going. The best is still ahead of you. We believe in you. From Auntie Joanne.
Can I have another paper?
This is just the beginning for you. The sky is not the limit. Reach higher. Put God first and you'll come out on top. From Morales. Okay, so this one's from Shanae. Kim was coordinating. She was doing everything, so she didn't get to write anything down. So if you want to share.
Aim high.
Thank you.
Sky is no limit for us.
Morales just said that.
Yeah, thank you. So this one says, stay determined and stay close to God, and all things will be offered unto you. And this is from Shanae.
Where you get it from?
Okay.
My head. Thank you. This one's from Mommy. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. Me and Mommy said something similar.
And this one's from my daddy. It says, keep focusing hard, keep studying, go for your dream career. You can make it. You have us to support you. My dad writes like a doctor. Congrats, Dr. Sara. Oh, those are beautiful.
So thank you everyone for your well wishes and for the advice. I'll take it with me as I go through grad school. Excuse me?
We're giving you an instrument.
No, thank
my
you.
arm is going wrong, no.
As I go through grad school and for my future endeavors. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much. Of course, please continue watching our other videos. Like, share, subscribe, and see you
Like,
guys.
share, subscribe. Now I was thinking about this.
Oh, we also hit 200 subscribers. So next time you'll be seeing anything like this is when
It's like 2 seconds.
it's when we celebrate the warrior of the family, Miss Shannon Hart, as she will be graduating with
I'll
her.
be done at the end of the year.
She's not at the end of the year, but
Yeah,
graduating
you
next
want
year,
to
and so we're
It's
gonna
gonna be fun.
we're gonna return next year for her
gonna be a
graduation
fun
as
party.
well.
I'm joking.
So thank you guys. Please, of course, leave your well wishes and your advice for Sara in the comments section below. And we hope that you guys will continue to support us in your love
Yes. We
and
love
in your
you all.
and of course in your prayers. We can never have enough prayers. So thank you once again for watching, and see you in the next
Thank you.
video.
See you next video.
Bye.
Bye. That was smooth.